Well, hi everybody. Today we're going to do a lesson here. We're going back to the basics. I belong to a group for X-Plane 11. It's a beginner's group, and this lesson is going to be pretty waste of time for most of you guys that are experienced with X-Plane 11. But on the beginners group, we're getting questions from people that are new to X-Plane. They just bought the game, and some of the questions are like, what's going on? I bought X-Plane 11 and I see all these beautiful videos on X-Plane 11, and I buy the game, and all of a sudden I noticed that airports look very simple. There's no towns, there's nothing. Everything looks the same. And we're going to try and fix that for you new guys today. You can look at this picture on my desktop. This is Toronto from my X-Plane 11. You can see how nice I've got it looking. So we're going to help you a little bit and see if we can get you on your way. So X-Plane 11, to get it looking like this, depends on your custom sceneries. You got to learn how to install custom sceneries in airports. And where they all go is you open up your computer, and for most of you guys, to get to your X-Plane 11, you would just click on your C drive, your program files times 86. You scroll down here somewhere, and down near the bottom, right after the W, I think it'd be right down here somewhere, you'll see X-Plane 11. And you click on X-Plane 11 and open it, and you'll see custom scenery. But I have a Steam version. And if you have a Steam version, you would have program files times x86. Down here at the bottom somewhere you'll see Steam. You click on Steam, and then you'll see Steam Apps, and you click on Steam Apps, and then you click on Common, and then you click on X-Plane 11. You'll see all your folders in X-Plane 11. So for me, I put mine in my second drive because I have a big X-Plane 11. I need a 5 terabyte hard drive. So same thing. You click on it, click on Steam, click on Steam Apps, click on Common, click on X-Plane 11, and there's my custom scenery folder right there. So we'll just leave that for now, but that's the folder you're looking for. So you can find your X-Plane 11, find your custom scenery folder. And the fellas were asking, well, how do I get all these airports? Well, the little trick that I found is using Google. And most of your sceneries you'll see in X-Plane 11 are at for free stuff is at xplane11.org. xplane11.org. So I've already got it as a shortcut. So, oops. So I'll go in here and I'll right-click on this, and I'll click on my Flight Sim Community. See right here, xplane11.org, and all this stuff on the left is all free stuff that fellows have added. So here's Camran International, so you click on that. You get some photos of it, the guy that made this, and you can click on and download it and put it in your custom scenery. But all this stuff here on the right, this is all payware. If you want really nice stuff, you can go to the store and click on new, and it'll show you all their new stuff. And like here's Genoa Airport, you can get that one for $25, and it's got a video on it and shows you all the photos. You can check it out. So that's where you get all your payware. Just go to xplane11.org or xplane.org. Here it is, xplane.org. Free stuff on the left, payware on the right. Go to the store to get the payware. But I'm going to show you how I get stuff. Say you want a particular airport. Say you want Boston. There's where I use Google. So I'll go here, and whatever you want, Boston. I usually look up the ICAO. So if you don't know what Boston is, it's KBOS, but this is what you would do. You just go into your Google and you go Boston. I want Boston. ICAO. That's the name of the code of the airport. So you enter that and you get something like this will come up, and it'll tell you Logan International is what the airport's called, and here's the ICAO, KBOS. So okay, we know now that it's KBOS. So then I'll go back to my Google search, and I'll go KBOS X-Plane 11. Always put X-Plane 11 after everything you're looking for. X-Plane 11. Do the search on that. And bingo, there it is. KBOS. Scenery package. X-Plane 11. And there it is. Free. You can click the download button and get it. But what I want to show you, because of one fellow said, well, I got nothing. I opened up my X-Plane 11 and I've got nothing. Well, I've got a lot of Ortho 4XP satellite imagery, which gives you all this nice stuff, eh? And I already downloaded a tile. I did another video on how to do these, so just go into the file section of our group and you can find my video on how to do these tiles. And what I'm going to do is, just so you can see the difference, is I've started up my game and I went to Quito, Ecuador, South America, because I know I don't have anything there, because I just work with North America and Europe. But we just picked this so you can see the difference. So I started the game, and with the default X-Plane 11 with no add-ons, this is what they give you. I'll just pause the sound, but I'm just going to show you the scenery here. Use my comma key to zoom out. And this is what they give you for Quito, Ecuador. Now I know this whole area is the city, surrounded by the airport. The airport is in the middle of the city and it's surrounded by buildings. And that's what they give you for your basic X-Plane 11. Look, everything looks the same. No farms, no nothing. Just nothing. And that's your airport. Pretty basic. What do we got here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. That's it. So we're going to try and fix this. So what we do now, I'll quit this. I'll quit my simulator. I'm back to the desk. I'll go into my Google, and I'll search for Quito. Now you can do it two ways. You can, like I say, you can Google the ICO, or you can put in Quito. See, we can go Kuito X-Plane 11. Enter it. Well, you see, it worked that way. Sometimes it doesn't work that way because somebody's going to have a VFR for Quito for the city, and there'll be some confusion. But since this is the only one, the other way you can do it is, like I said before, we can go back here and we can go Quito ICAO, and the ICAO right here for Quito is SEQM. Okay, so we'll go back to and we'll search SEQM X-Plane 11. A lot of this stuff is going to be redundant, but I'm doing it just so you guys, I make sure you guys understand it and get it. Always put X-Plane 11 behind what you're looking for. Enter it. See, it came up again. There it is. So that's the airport we want. So you click on that one, and there's some photos. That's kind of what it looks like. Look, it's an old scenery. It's a 2014 down here. It says 2014. It's an old one, so I always try to look for the newest one, because you might find 3 or 4 versions of it. But since this is the only one we found, you see there's more buildings here than 5. The other one had 5 buildings. The basic one had 5 buildings. So we'll download this one. And we got, he's updated it a few times. See? Quito Airport, Quito Airport. So we'll take the top one. We'll take the 1.2 because that looks like the latest update. So there, we're going to download it. There, it's ready. So I can click on it and open it. So then you go into your X-Plane 11. Yeah, there I am. X-Plane 11. Custom scenery. I'll move over. This is all my custom scenery, but it'll work showing you here. This is all my tiles for Ortho. So then all you got to do is left click on it, hold it button down, drag it over, and there it is. I've dropped it into my custom scenery folder. So we've got Keto in there. Now we're going to start up our X-Plane 11. And my X-Plane 11 is huge, so this is going to, you got to be patient if you want to see all this stuff. It's going to take a minute or two to load up. And then I'll explain to you while this is loading up what it will do. It will put it into the ini file. But what it does with the ini file is it puts it right at the top, and you don't want it at the top. I'm going to show you here my ini file order. This is the order your ini file should be in. Libraries at the top, custom airports next, global airports next, VFR cities, objects, orbs through Earth, Ortho 4XP overlays, Ortho 4XP tiles, if you have that stuff, and mesh and terrain. So you can refer back to this in the video. That's what you need. And then what else you have to do, I'll show you after we're done with this here, is do a new flight. Cessna SEQM, so we'll start the flight. And like I say, this is most of you guys know all this stuff. This is just for these guys that just bought their X-Plane 11 last week and they don't know how to, don't have a clue how to get started with this stuff. So I'm going to show them here. Well, I sip my coffee. Enlarge the screen, make it bigger here for a second. Come along quite a minute. I've waited 3 or 4 minutes for this to load sometimes because I got over 3 terabytes of libraries and files it's got to sort through. And my computer needs an update. I'm only running an i7 3770 and I should have an i7 8700. And that requires a 300 series motherboard. And that requires DDR4 RAM. Okay. Now we're at Keto again. I'll pause the sound so you can hear me a little bit. Now we're at Keto again. We'll go to the exterior view. And it's not perfect. There's some glitch I saw there, but I'd have to sort that out because this is an old scenery. But you can see this is quite a bit different than 5 buildings. Well, you see, they got me parked at one of the things. I guess that's supposed to be connected to that. But I can go into my editor and I can clean this up a bit. But I won't bother. But it's an old airport and it was a bad choice. But I'm just showing you what an improvement it is over the basic airport, right? We still don't have any cities, do we? We don't have any towns, anything. We got, if I change the time of day, we might see some lights. See, they show the city if you go to nighttime. You do that with the Shift L or the Shift K. Shift K to make it earlier. But I zoom out here with the you don't really see the buildings. You see the streets with the night lights. We make it daytime now. See, they got streets and they got a few little buildings here, but I mean, that's nothing, right? But the airport looks a lot better than it did. Ignore a couple of the glitches. But before we had five buildings, remember? All right, so we can close that. And here's what you have to remember is, now you go into your custom scenery folder, and like I said, if you look at the any order, I want the airport below the libraries. Because anytime you put something into your custom scenery, it goes into your ini file. This is your ini file. And there it is, right there, Keto. Put it right at the top, didn't it? See that? It's right at the top. And so I also downloaded this library. So how you move stuff, to get the stuff in the proper order, they're saying, well, how do you have to get this in the proper order? See, I've got these exclusions, which you can ignore because that's an editing program I have. That's what I did. Those are my things. And I have my exclusions at the top. But normally you wouldn't have exclusions unless you did them yourself. So we'll skip the exclusions, and you notice here right at the top I have all my libraries. See, RE library, RD library, all these libraries go at the top. So what I want to do is I want to get this library below my exclusions. So how you move stuff around in the ini file, hold down your left mouse button and drag across and highlight it blue. Then right click on the blue and click cut. And that's like copy and paste. So we still got it. I go below my exclusions and I'll put it in here. Now I left click behind the last exclusion and I hit the enter key and make it space. Then I right click on the space and I click copy or paste. And see, now I've got the library below the exclusions. Now the same thing with the airport, this Keto Airport. I want it down below my libraries. So I drag my left mouse button across it, right click on it, cut it, and I'll left click it here and I'll hit the backspace and I'll move this up. And I'll go down here somewhere below all my airports. See, these are all my airports. So I'll just stick it in here somewhere. Mobile regional. Make a space, right click, copy. Oh, pardon me, paste. There it is, Keto. Now I've moved it down. So that's how you move stuff around in your ini file. And then when you close your ini file, you'll say you want to save it. And it'll save that order. So now I want to improve the city and the look of the land. So that's where my Ortho 4XP comes in. It takes about half an hour to make the tile, so I've already made the tile to save some time here, and it makes several folders. It makes a Ortho Photos folder, which is this one, and it makes all these photos to make the tile for the Ortho. And you see, this is kind of a bad area because it's got clouds, so we're going to see a lot of clouds in our scenery. Kind of going to look crappy, but this is just an example. I don't even want Keto. I don't fly down there. So I'll delete this thing. I don't need that. So we need our overlays, which is our towns. So you open up your custom scenery. And you drag this, left click, hold down the button, drag this over into custom scenery. And overwrite it. You want to merge it with the one you already have? Yeah, I want to merge it. And now I'm going to stick my ortho in here. Oh, back up. What am I doing here? My tile in here. So there's my ortho tile for keto. I'm going to drag it into my custom scenery folder. And there it is, minus 01, minus 79. Okay, so we'll put the ortho in there. Now we'll start up X-Plane 11 again. But remember, on your any order, oh come on, any order, your ortho overlays has to be below your airports and your cities, so it has to be at the bottom. So before we can get it to work, we've got to install it into the ini file. And the way you do it is you start up your game, and then you got to shut it down again. But I mean, it's going to take some time, but I'm showing you how this thing works. And you can imagine what the fun I have. You guys only have a few things to sort to. I got to sort through all these files. These are all my custom scenery files. Tons of them. And we'll have one last thing to do after this, and I'll show you what it has to do with libraries. Okay, we started it up, which put the Ortho 4XP for keto into your ini file, but you don't want it at the top. In order for it to work properly, you got to have it below the airport. So you close. Once you started the game, after you start the game, you close it again. Then you can go back in your custom scenery, and you go back into your ini file, which is always right at the back and at the bottom. So we just open that up, enlarge it, and see, there it is, that Ortho 4XP right at the top. Don't want it at the top. You won't see the airport. You want it below everything. So left click, drag across, hold the left bus button down, right click, cut it, left click behind this, in front of this, and then move this up. Then we're going to go all the way down to our ortho. It's down to the bottom. Here's all my ortho. I can stick this anywhere. Oh. Stick it in here. Save it. Now most of the time your Ortho 4XP won't have any clouds, but because this is a bad choice, it's a mountainous area, it's got a lot of clouds, it's not going to look very good for keto. But 99% of the time you won't run into this problem, but we'll have a look at it anyway. So you remember what keto looked like around the airport before we started, so we'll see if it looks any different. We'll start this up. Get it going here. Gotta load all that stuff. And you just noticed how I moved all that stuff around in the ini file. That's how you move stuff in your ini file. Okay, resume the last flight. And we'll see if that ortho made a difference. Now, if you go in our beginnings group and click on files, you'll see a thing in there called Brian Pfeiffer's videos. And I'll have a video in there on how to make ortho, satellite imagery. And there'll be a link on the video on where to get it. And like I said in that video, I always keep my ortho on the desktop, so it's easy to get at. So it's going to take a minute here to load up. And that's it's the one downside about having so many files. The more files you have, the longer it takes to load. But I got, if you can imagine, I got 3 terabytes of files just for this sim. Okay. Now I've seen when I moved, see how I moved that airport? It's fixed everything. Now we're fixed. Now let's zoom out and see if it made a difference with the ortho. There you go, you got some cities. See, you got some cities going on here. Now let's make it darker so you can see if it lights up. There's the city. Now you see a city. See, here's all the city right over here. See if I zoom in on it and get it over here. Make it darker so you can see it light up. There you have it. So you see what the ortho has done to the mountains. See this? Now look at that. This is all ortho. And unfortunately, here's a tile. This will show you the difference. I only made 1 tile of ortho. This is default. This is what X-Plane 11 gives you. And when you put in ortho, this is what ortho gives you. Can you see the difference between the two? That's default. That's ortho. And there's the line with the tile. I only made 1 tile to show you the city, so. And we can zoom down here. Okay. And you can see how nice that looks. And the airport's been fixed. I'm moving it down in the ini file. And that airport looks a lot better than the one that came with X-Plane, doesn't it? So that's how you put custom scenery into X-Plane 11. So I can close this, close the game. Now the one last thing that's important is all these airports, you need libraries. And here's, if I go into custom scenery, I open up my ini pack. Ignore these, like I said, ignore these exclusions. Pretend they're not there, because that's something I did. But notice, put all your libraries at the very top of your ini file, above everything. Here's all the libraries you need. So I'm going to close that. And I'm going to show you here. I made a list on a notepad. Libraries. If you can see this, I'll hold it here for a second, and you go down the list. Okay, and now scroll down so you get the rest of them. There's the rest of them there. So you got to go through all and get all these libraries and put them in your custom scenery, and put them at the top of your ini file. And some of you guys are looking at this list and you're thinking, oh my God, how am I going to find all these libraries? Well, it's simple, just like I told you. We just pick one at random here. Here's let's go with RE library. RE library, okay? I'll minimize this. So like I told you before, you just go to Google. Pop-ups all the time. Google, just like it's written on the thing there. RE library. X plane 11. Enter it. And there's a master list of the libraries, but try one here. Download. There's RE library version 1.8. Download. Or what's another one we can pick up here? We can pick up libraries, a couple at the top. I'll just go like this and copy it. Mr. X library. Copy. Remove that. Paste. Mr. X library. Enter. And there's Mr. X library. So that's how you find all your libraries. So we've got airports covered, we got Ortho 4XP covered, and we got libraries covered. So that should get you started. So I hope this helps everybody, and have a nice day, folks. And I'm in the group, so if anybody has any confusion or any problems and go along the way, just let me know and I'll see if I can help you out. Have a nice day, folks.